your Kentucky Select Chevy dealers, and CHI St. Joseph Health.
Well, what do you say? Happy Sunday to you all, and thanks for joining us on the True Blue Extra Point with Kylan Mills. I'm Charlie Walter. On today's show, we have the reaction from Kentucky's shutout loss to Georgia yesterday. Their first time being blank since 2012. We're also talking about the blue-white scrimmage, plus Kentucky Sports Radio's Drew Franklin will join us on the set in just a bit.
Yes, we are very excited about that, Charlie. I'm excited to be here, although I am fighting a cold, so bear with me, people. I'm blaming the weather change, Chuck. I mean, it's 90, it's 40, now it's 70. I can't keep up. My sinuses can't handle it.
The 6 o'clock kickoff was supposed to do us some favors, and I ended up staying here later than any
I know.
possible.
We are always up.
Pretty much
we are always
tent
up
in the newsroom, but we're ready to roll, and so are the highlights because it was raining cats and dogs in Georgia.
Yes, it was. There's the Bulldog as the Cats and the Dogs between the hedges last night. Charlie, obviously the offense was a struggle. But you have to love what Kentucky did defensively.
Yeah, holding Georgia to 0 first half points shows how this defense is growing. And look, it's all about the building blocks right now. They have just about everyone set to return on D next year, and they continue to look better each game.
But the offense does have to start picking them up, and the mistakes just killed them last night. As they have all year, UK has struggled to find the end zone. The Lynn Bowden run that surely would have led to points was called back on a Logan Stenberg holding penalty, and that was really the momentum shift in the game.
Yeah, another momentum shift, a rare Max Duffy butchered punt. He'd been fantastic. That sets up Georgia from there. The Dogs were running without leashes. DeAndre Swift, the 39-yard touchdown run. He had 179 yards rushing in the game. Then more mistakes plagued Kentucky, and they just unraveled. Lynn Bowden, the fumble. It would lead to a very quick score from Georgia. So it's 14-0, but Kentucky wasn't done yet. How about Zach Johnson?
The former walk-on with a big return. There he goes, breaking free. Remember, he and David Bouvier received scholarships before last season. That's why, during the drive, Lynn Bowden would do some damage with his legs, and it set up what should have been a touchdown you just saw there, but Chris Rodriguez can't hang on. Kentucky wouldn't get any closer, 21-0. Georgia wins and hands Kentucky their first shutout loss since 2012 when Kentucky lost 40-0 to Vanderbilt.
I mean, if that's the number 10 team in the country, then what are we? We played them very hard tonight at that place, so our confidence level is still through the roof.
Before everybody likes to throw darts at Lynn in the pass game, I mean, they have one hell of a quarterback over there that threw the ball for 35 yards tonight.
It was rainy down in Athens. That's why you saw some fog on the camera. Next week, the Battle of Felines. The Cats take on the Missouri Tigers, who just had a 5-game winning streak snapped by Vandy. Vandy tied up at 14 in the fourth quarter, and from there it was all Vandy. Riley Neal came off the bench to lead the 7-play, 65-yard touchdown drive, connecting with Cam Johnson on the go-ahead pass you saw there. The Tigers have lost both of their road games this season, Charlie, the other being to Wyoming. That was their season opener, so that bodes well for the Cats, who will be back at Kroger Field next weekend.
Well, Kentucky leads the all-time series 6-3, and they enter the matchup with a 4-game winning streak over the Tigers. Look, Neil Brown was coaching the last time Missouri won, and Matty Mock was the quarterback under center for the Tigers. He would later finish his career at Eastern Kentucky. Well, the last 2 years have been complete opposites of each other. A shootout at Kroger Field in 2017. Kentucky took the lead on a 64-yard touchdown connection from Stephen DeJuice, rather. Kentucky won the shootout 40-34. And then last year, it was 14-3. Bowden, the touchdown return. Terry Wilson, C.J. Conrad. His time expired. Nobody forgot how that one ended. 15-14 Cats. Fun times behind us and hopefully ahead as they look to make it 5 in a row next Saturday. Kickoff is set for 7:30 on the SEC Network.
Well, forget the fact that Lynn Bowden went 2 of 15 last night. Kentucky saw no other options. If Sawyer Smith was healthy, he would have been in there. So with that being said, you have to applaud Lynn. Here's a guy that could be raising his NFL stock right now, and instead he's scrambling for his life, as we saw last night, trying to make plays to help his team win.
Kids talking about going to the NFL this year. He's talking about leaving school. So right in the middle of the season, You stop playing receiver and you go play quarterback. I'm telling you, for the betterment of the team. He may tweet things out, he may say this, say that, but that kid Hart is really into this university, and he really want to win for our staff, this team, this state, and that I know that says a lot to me, because some people won't do that. You talking about the way kids are selfish now, don't play in bowl games and don't do that. I think that speaks a lot of the unselfishness of him.
Let's talk some round ball with the opener against Michigan State just 2 weeks away. And we will have some more basketball before then, as Kentucky will tune things up with exhibition matchups against Kentucky State and Georgetown College. But on Friday, we got to see the Cats in a competitive blue-white scrimmage, and you have to like what you saw. Khalil Whitney can throw down with the best of them in the Coach Cal era. Oh, his jumper needs some work, but let me tell you what, this guy is a freight train in transition. Keon Brooks quietly had himself a double-double, but I'm still trying to figure out if he can bang down low at all. He's definitely an athlete and can shoot it. Then you have the guard play. Maxey is a stud, no doubt about it. We know what Ashton Hagans can do, and then you have Emmanuel Quickley. Cal has said all offseason this kid is a different player, and he looked at, albeit an exhibition, but the guy that has a lot of Kentucky fans excited because of his experience, leadership, size, and surprisingly, a really good touch from the perimeter. That would be Nate Sestina.
I had 3 people stop me on the way in who were basketball people and said, that kid works so hard and has so much energy and talks. He's going to play himself into minutes, and he is. I tried to say that he's a little bit like Derek Willis, where you can stretch out that guy. He's a big guy that you can stretch the court with. But he has a little more physical presence.
I played guard my whole life, so I was kind of able to shoot the ball a little bit when I was younger. And then as I started to grow, I kept with it. I didn't just kind of stop shooting. And when I got to college and I realized that, like, you don't have to just be back to the basket all the time, I really, really worked with that with my coaches at Bucknell. And then when I got here, I really started to develop that.
It was also Alumni Weekend at Kentucky, and players from all different decades were recognized, along with players from that 10-year span in which they played. 2 of the guys we caught up with were from Rupp's Runts team, Louis Dampier and Larry Conley. And as we were closing the interview, we got this exclusive, candid exchange caught on camera.
I just want to say, because this is important to me, not so much to Louis. He's a member of the Basketball Hall of Fame. And I cannot tell you how proud I am of him. If he would just learn to shoot the ball, he can't shoot it as well as I can, but I can tell you that I got it to him plenty of times in the right places to make him good. I'm kidding, of course. I'm very proud of him.
Well, let me add to that, Larry. You're one of the reasons I got to the Hall of Fame, because you passed me the ball. You found the open guy, and you were such a team player. I appreciate you.
Where's my check?
You didn't get it yet?
You're never too old to hassle your teammates, really. I mean, it never dies. And it's amazing the sense of family you get in the Kentucky basketball program.
The brotherhood is forever.
It is. All right. Well, we're all excited for basketball season. We're also excited because Drew Franklin of Kentucky Sports Radio is here in studio. He'll be talking with us in just a minute. We're talking about the Cats' chances to win out the rest of the season. Hey, fingers crossed. Of course, some basketball, and he tells us about the best place in Lexington to watch a game. I wonder where that could be. We'll be right back.
Extra Point.
A very special guest in studio today. It was Nick Roush from Kentucky Sports Radio last weekend. Today we have Drew Franklin, Kentucky Sports Radio, Hey Kentucky, and the mastermind behind the menu at KS Bar. This thing is just loaded with absolute gems.
Oh, it's
one of my
great.
favorites, Chili Gillespie, with it ending. Alan Cutler once chased it down a hallway. Just fantastic stuff. Great to have you in studio
thanks
today.
for having me.
Yeah,
Thank you for being here. So I want to know, how did you come up with all of these ideas for the different menu names and descriptions? Like, you just started rolling with making fun of people in the sports world here in Lexington?
Kind of wrote it like I would write a blog post on our website, KSR. There's a lot of sarcasm. It's definitely not a typical menu description that you would see at restaurants, but I thought it was fun to do it that way. We kept it the way kind of KSR runs, so people have liked that so far.
Yeah, definitely. How have things been going at KS Bar, by the way? Because you've been open for some time now. I know I've been in there, and it seems really busy.
Well, we opened last year right in time for the Florida upset. we need a big win this football season. Haven't had one to really burn the place down yet.
Maybe this weekend.
True. No cars have been flipped yet this season or couches burned.
Yeah, no, it's been great. We get a great crowd for the games. We were actually voted #1 place to watch a game over Rupp Arena. I thought was cool. It came in second, so things are going well.
How about that? Well, the game last night, I'm sure it was pretty packed. Looked good for a while. Your initial thoughts, better or worse than you imagined?
Much better, to be honest.
Okay.
And I kind of thought Kentucky scoring 0 points was about what would happen, the way I saw that weather. With no passing attack, when I saw that rain coming down and that wind, I didn't think we were in for many points from UK.
Yeah. So let's talk actually about some basketball. I mean, at least we've got that to look forward to, right? Do you think this team will be better than last season?
So hard at this point in the year.
I
As
know.
we all know,
You've got to look into the crystal ball here.
Starting all the way over every November, but this team looks very good. Tyrese Maxey, there's a great class, as he always has, but I think Tyrese Maxey is going to be that elite player that we haven't had in a while. I think he's going to be a star, but they're going to be in the mix at the end of the season, per usual.
You look at freshmen, and you want to see their cerebral play and how they step up to the game changing. And Tyrese Maxey just looks like a veteran out there, so smart, so fast with the ball in his hands, can shoot, can fly. He could do everything you want.
Yeah, I think the team's going to go through him, and really all the guard play is great. I mean, they have great bigs, and Nick Richards, E.J. Montgomery, Sestina look good. But this team's going to go as the guards go, and Maxey's going to be right there with Higgins leading the pack.
Junior year Nick Richards, does he finally make the jump to that guy that can potentially be a first-round draft pick?
I mistakenly labeled him as an All-American last year before the season. I'm going to dial back the pressure I feel like I've put on him as the president of the Nick Richards fan club. I'm like a parent. I'm just going to enjoy whatever he does. I will be very proud of him this year.
All right, well, let's go back to football, and let's talk about Kentucky's potential chances for a bowl game. What do you think? Are they getting to a bowl game this year with the schedule they have remaining?
I still think so. I'm counting UT Martin as a win. Let's go ahead and pencil that one in. Then you've got 4 more games, all very winnable games.
Yeah.
Might even be a favorite in 3 of them. Win 2 of those, win 3 of those. You can even win 4 of those, and they're going to a bowl and can have a really good season if you can win all 4.
What are you hoping to see from Kentucky's offense next week to try to get things going? I mean, is it just Sawyer Smith needs to get back in there? What do the guys need to do to get some points on the board at least?
I love what Lynn Bowden's doing, and I hope they stick with him. Because when he gets outside in space, I mean, you cannot stop the guy. But
you
the problem
blame
is,
him,
you
No,
can't.
not
you
by
take
any
a receiver
means.
out of the mix, your best receiver.
Yeah, you have to have at least the threat of a pass, and right now they don't. So as much as I like seeing him, you have to get an actual quarterback in there to at least make the defense respect you.
A game that everyone has penciled on the schedule right now is the Tennessee Volunteers. Kentucky has notoriously struggled with the Vols. The Vols not necessarily good, but they are playing a little bit better. And you remember the last time Kentucky beat them at Kroger Field, Tennessee didn't have John Kelly. Is this a game? I feel like a lot of people are penciling this in as a win. They're saying, oh, we're going to beat Tennessee. That's not an easy game.
I was going to say, you can never pencil that in with the Tennessee game.
My dad is a diehard Tennessee fan. He turned my bedroom when I moved out into a Tennessee room. This game means a lot to me. That being said, I will never pick Kentucky to beat Tennessee after what I've seen in my lifetime.
Wow. Sounds like you are sending your dad to a pretty dumpy retirement.
Yeah.
I was going to say, are you still on speaking terms with your dad if he did that to your room?
Not this time of year. We don't speak much. But.
Okay. Well, fair enough. All right. Well, Drew Franklin, thank you so much for being with us. And still ahead, a college football coach's beard is winning social media this weekend. We're taking a look at Twitter and the chatter. That's up next. Welcome back. No, we are not doing the SEC Roundtable just yet. Yeah, you've got to wait a couple of minutes for that. It's time now for the chatter. So yesterday was National Kentucky Day because why not? There's a day for everything, is there not?
I think it's National Dog Day again today for the 10th time this year.
Yeah, right, for the 10th time this year, seriously. Well, it seemed to me like the perfect time for Kentucky to shock the world by upsetting the number 10 Georgia Bulldogs. National Kentucky Day, sadly, that didn't quite happen. But here is one fantastic Kentucky-related tweet. Here we take you to a photo that was tweeted by Julie Withrow. She wrote, "Fun fact in honor of National Kentucky Day, governors must still swear they have never fought a duel with a deadly weapon before taking office."
That's true.
Yeah, so it might seem ridiculous, but I did some digging and it is true. The oath of office for state officials has not changed since the 1800s. It still includes this line. I found it on the Kentucky Secretary of State's website. We are still living in the Wild West, folks.
I guess they think it's Westworld in Lexington, Kentucky, or the state of Kentucky in general. And it's a weekly occurrence, poking fun at the Tennessee Volunteers in this segment. This is for you, Mr. Franklin. But this one's just comedy. We got to show it to you. Tennessee was a yard away from making it a one-possession game in the fourth. And oh no! Apparently, Jarrett Garantano wasn't supposed to do that. He just went on a rogue mission, which is the most Tennessee thing ever. Alabama returns at 100 yards. You hate to see it. This guy in the stands is already smelling cigar smoke. But here's where things get interesting. Jeremy Pruitt gives a little tug on the face mask. Nothing malicious. But as you'd imagine, the Twitter sphere exploded. Take a look at this tweet. Susan seems to think that was assault. You buying or selling that notion, Kylan?
I am returning that notion, putting it back on the shelf, Charlie. It didn't look malicious. I don't know.
My dad used to wear 10 pairs of underwear to middle school because they hit him with an oar. And so
okay, we're not advocating corporal punishment
no, I'm not.
here
I'm just saying we've dropped a little. That's a grown man. That you gave a little tug on his face mask. That was a really bad play. So I'm not provoking it. I'm just saying.
Well, he's just saying. So yesterday we saw one of the biggest upsets this college football season. Lovie Smith and the Fighting Illini took down the number 6 Wisconsin Badgers despite being 30-point underdogs. But more than the upset, I am mystified by when Lovie Smith turned into Gandalf. Charlie, seriously, look at this side-by-side photo. A parody account for Wisconsin's coach actually tweeted Lovie Smith before the Wisconsin game and Lovie Smith after. It was a close 1-point game. But seriously, what is happening on his face? I don't know. I like clean-shaven Lovie. But anyways, back to Twitter. NFL writer Chris Burke tweeted Lovie Smith shaves his beard, whispers, "It is done," and fades to dust. Seems fitting. Jeff Risdon tweeted, Lovie Smith pulls a rabbit out of his beard and the Illini win. Apparently Lovie needed that beard when he coached the Chicago Bears, Charlie. The beard comes with wisdom and apparently a signature win, too.
Imagine being one of those people that took Wisconsin to cover the 32 points. Oh, my goodness.
Oof.
Well, stick with us. Drew Franklin's back on the desk. We're giving out our national championship picks. That's next. All right, take 2. South Carolina looking pretty good as of late, but the Gators behind Kyle Trask and company did what they needed to do. South Carolina took the early 17-10 lead in the second half. Gamecocks thinking an upset, but here comes Trask stepping up, finding what a catch. Flag didn't matter, and the Gators pull this one out late in the contest. They outscored the Gamecocks 21-7 in the fourth quarter. They will take part in the world's largest cocktail party next week. That could decide the SEC East. It's actually in 2 weeks. They have a bye next week.
All right, well, Alabama surprisingly didn't roll last night. Tunga, I can't say it, Charlie.
Tagovailoa. I don't know why there's an N in there, but it's Tagovailoa.
Thank you. Okay, so knocked out of the game. He will be okay, though. So they went ahead and won it with the backup, but this one closer than expected. Tennessee seems to be getting better, and like we were just talking about, you can't sleep on them if you're a Cat. A Kentucky Wildcat, that game could always be a toss-up. However, last night, 35-13 was the final.
I'm not 100% sure, but I think Alabama's backup that came in is actually named Matt Jones, so good for him. Anyways, let's talk.
Mac Jones, former Kentucky commit.
Oh, it's Mac Jones.
Yeah, he's committed to the UK.
Okay.
All right.
So anyways, let's talk
use
about
him now, couldn't we?
the potential national championship matchups, and let's go ahead and give the winner of the national championship. You're a wise guy. You're very good at picking things. You're on the Action Network. Why don't you plug your Action name in here?
No, because right now I'm colder than cold. I don't want anyone to see what I've been doing. So I'm a little I'm colder. Whatever I'm about to say.
You just outed him, Charlie.
So
way to
you go with the easy pick here.
I went with Bama. Even though Tua got hurt, they're saying he'll be back for the LSU game in a couple weeks. I don't love it. I still think Ohio State. I think LSU is scary good, but I'm going to lean Alabama right now.
They have Arkansas next week, so that's a gimme. Give them some time to heal. Arkansas got absolutely plowed by Auburn yesterday, like 51-10. How about you?
As expected. Okay, so I was kind of thinking about LSU too. I didn't want to go with Ohio State because I think they also look like a very strong football program, just because this guy was. So I feel like you have to throw Oklahoma into the mix. This is the most complete Oklahoma team we have seen in several years. I mean, we're used to them being an offensive threat. Obviously, they've had Kyler Murray and Baker Mayfield and some really great receivers too on Oklahoma. But the defense this year under Alex Grinch, who they stole from Ohio State, has looked I mean, they've looked threatening. They are punishing teams with the defense, which is something you're not used to saying. So I feel like they've got to be in the mix.
They stole the Grinch. You don't hear that often. I got Ohio State. Look, I'm getting a little cocky here. I'm from Ohio. I'm not a Buckeye fan, though. I went to Ohio University, so I'm a Bobcat guy. But I think this Ohio State football team is one of the best football teams I've seen in the last decade. Just so complete. Yeah. Chase Young is an absolute monster. If you don't take him number one, you're crazy. I think the Buckeyes roll, and then Eli went with the LSU Tigers, which I think is a really safe
pick. Fair pick.
Burrow looks really nice with that defense. Let's talk about the game next weekend.
Yes.
Kentucky at home against Missouri. Kentucky's won 4 straight. Do they make it 5?
If you'd asked me 24 hours ago, I would have said absolutely not. Missouri wins. But I watched every minute of Missouri-Vandy yesterday. Vandy is terrible, and Missouri could not move the ball. I'm flipping. I think Kentucky beats Missouri. They're not as good as I thought they were.
I am on the same page as you. Before yesterday, I would not have said that, but I also think Kentucky can do it. They're also at home. Missouri has lost both of their away games so far this season, so I think the Cats could do it, and I don't think they look bad against the Dogs. It wasn't as bad as I thought it would be.
We may have swapped picks here. You could throw up the Chiron of mine, because I took Missouri, and it's probably going to give me Kentucky. Yes, we swapped there. Eli took Missouri, too. I just think the Tigers have a little too much offense. Unless Kentucky's defense can step up, I don't see Kentucky scoring 17 or more points. For Drew Franklin, Kylan Mills, Charlie Walter, thanks for watching.